to the F1 Time Portal. Today, we're sharing our POV on the 2025 Austin Grand Prix. I'm your host, Luigi.
And I'm your host, Rosa. So let's go.
Or should we say, Rosa, let's not go?
I know. I was just. This was one of the most boring races. I literally fell asleep after the first 10 laps.
It was a surprise because Austin has given us some great races in the past.
I know.
It shows how the cars have evolved, that they can't follow. And even on good tracks, we get boring races like this one.
Yeah, it was a snooze fest. The sprint race, however, Luigi, was very exciting.
Oh, it only had a couple of exciting bits. I still thought the sprint race was pretty flat as well.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the sprint format. I don't like a sprint race, but I guess it's better than practice for us viewers, for the fans. But I sort of don't really like the sprint format in the middle of a Grand Prix weekend because, well, usually drivers don't take a risk during the sprint race because the big points are for the Grand Prix proper and they don't want to totally destroy their cars and, put them behind the 8 ball and have their cars not ready for the big race. But this one had a few little spicy moments.
Oh, it was the only thing we had spicy for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
In fact, the more spicy thing was before the race.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so should we start with before the race? Because let's face it, we're starting with the most exciting thing and then we're going to go on a downward path to the race and then the end.
Yes. Yes, it all started with the word of the weekend, Louis, the word of the weekend, and the commentators went nuts. They used, I don't know, they must have been on some sort of like payment on how many times they said this word. It was repercussions, the repercussions.
Yes. Yeah, it's so funny that like McLaren have given us a few words to remember. Papaya rules.
Yes.
Repercussions.
Yes.
Thank you, McLaren, for giving us some interesting topics. So, do you want to talk about the repercussions first? Because I was going to talk about historical repercussions.
Oh, yes. Well, it is interesting, isn't it? I mean, I was after Singapore and their papaya rules debacle and their aim to keep everyone happy and sort of, no fighting and we're going to win the championship, which is everything's going to be fair. Yeah. I thought that was ridiculous, as you heard in the previous POV episode. And now they've doubled down, Louis. Like not only like that incident, I mean, at best it was a racing incident. Or at worst, it was a racing incident.
Well, are you talking about what happened in the sprint race or are you talking about – okay, so we're going to the sprint race. Okay, we'll go there then back to the repercussions.
They kind of – no, you're not.
The repercussions predated the incident.
Before. That's true. Yeah. So they came out with this repercussions thing and both drivers talked about it. Interestingly, both drivers like – Lando looked happy as he was talking about it. Yeah. And Oscar looked fake happy as he was talking about it. So I'm not sure if it was just a PR stunt. It's a really bad PR stunt, if you ask me. Yeah. But I couldn't believe they doubled down on a ridiculous driver management strategy.
Well, repercussions. The silly thing about it all is you've got to tell us what those papaya rules are. You've got to tell us what those repercussions are. If you don't tell us, it leaves our imagination to go wild. And especially, like you said, Norris seemed to be all smiley about the repercussions. So they must have been pretty good repercussions for him.
Yeah, exactly. As in no repercussions. Yeah. And Oscar was like fake happy. Like he had this fake smile planted on his face and he was very clipped in the way he spoke. So I was like, oh, this doesn't sound like there's going to be any repercussions. And but so
don't use the word if you're not going to tell us.
Exactly. That's right. And then you think about it and it's funny because I think on the telecast, I think Jensen also got asked what kind of repercussions and you and I spoke about it and I was saying, maybe they get to pick who pits first or who gets the best strategy and they probably can't be open about what it is, because it's race dependent, isn't it? And it's circumstances dependent. So they can't always say, "Oh, Oscar gets to pick the who pits first," because that might not actually be advantageous or something. I don't know. It would have to be specific to that race and the context they're in. But if that's the case, that's just, again, I don't know that I would use that in the media and tell everyone that, if that's what you're going to do.
It's embarrassing.
I'm sure it is. It is.
Yeah, it looks really silly. It's like there's so much. It's a reflection of that really bad decision that inspired this POV series.
Yes,
at the Monza Grand Prix, when the slow pit stop by Norris was reversed.
That's right.
I wonder if the repercussions were something along the lines of, because Mark Webber is Piastri's manager, Mark Webber has to pick the time because he has the full picture. He's not like Piastri can't make the call in the car because he doesn't have the full picture during a race, right? But maybe Webber says, okay, I see an opportunity to make things fair. Now switch the pit stops around, or now switch it.
They would never delegate that kind of responsibility to someone that's not connected with the team, like only connected to a driver. That would be out of this world.
Well, what are they doing now? They're doing random.
Well, I don't know what they're doing now. It's ridiculous. I know.
Yeah. Let me tell you about. Can I tell you about historical repercussions?
I was going to say, it did get us thinking about like this situation in particular, and whether this is the first time we've seen this like competitive management of two drivers in the same team. We've seen lots across teams, which is different, but in the same team. And you've given it some thought, Louis.
I have, yeah. So there's a couple of. I mean, I'm not a walking encyclopedia of accuracy, but the one that we all know of, or those that have nostalgia for the 80s. The 1989 San Marino Grand Prix. Now, you have to remember the context of this race is that 88, McLaren had won 15 of the 16 races with Prost and Senna. And at that stage, Prost and Senna were buddy-buddy, right? Now, let's not forget Prost was the one that got Senna in that team in the first place. In 89, they didn't start the season as dominantly as they did 88, but they clearly had a better car. They were clearly going to be fighting for the championship again. And the San Marino Grand Prix, from memory, I think it was about the either 9th, 10th or 11th race of the season. I can't remember exactly, but I do remember that was the race where Gerhard Berger went straight off and smashed into the wall and went on fire, and he was okay, luckily. But the reason why I'm painting all that is they had a deal between Prost and Senna, knowing full well one of them was going to be the champion, to minimize having an accident. To minimize having an accident that would cause an early retirement between the two of them. They said whoever had the lead at the first corner, not had the race, but they weren't to be challenged at the first corner, because that was like the most dangerous time of the race. And the deal was done. They both agreed. But what happened at that race was, because Berger had that big accident, they stopped the race. They restarted the race. Prost was leading. Senna passed him at the first corner, broke the rule. But Senna's view was that rule only applied for the first race, not the restart. So I'm calling
a technicality.
It's a that's typical Senna. For those that remember Senna, Senna is the original Max Verstappen. Just saying. So Senna used a technicality to say, "Oh, that applied for the first race, not the restart," which is total, questionable. And Prost was furious. That was the end of their relationship in terms of being teammates. And from that point on, they were like in different teams in the McLaren team.
Yes. So,
that's repercussions. That's an example of repercussions.
But they weren't team imposed repercussions. That was just a breakdown of the relationship, and they were both fighting hard as anything. Like that wasn't be nice to each other. I mean, Ron Dennis couldn't really manage either of them. I remember he was like just this like wooden puppet. Like no one listened to him. Any team orders, they refused.
Those two drivers did what they wanted to do to win, which is fair enough, right?
To do. Exactly.
Which is the exact opposite of what we're getting right now.
Yes, what McLaren is trying to achieve.
For the time being.
Yes.
It's the exact opposite of what we're getting.
That's right. I was challenging you to think of Like, is that the last time we've seen that kind of thing? Because I sort of put to you a couple of other racing duos like
You're going to say Rosberg
uh,
Hamilton?
Rosberg Hamilton. What about
Mm.
Hamilton and is it Hamilton and Alonso? Were they in the same team as well?
Yeah, I'd say Hamilton. Yeah, 2007, right? That was the last time when they threw the championship away. They had the two top drivers. They didn't really have team rules. They were surprised that Hamilton was so good as a rookie.
Yes,
that he took on the current defending double champion Alonso. We know Alonso, and that was Alonso at the peak of his powers.
And
he was being shaken up by Hamilton, and both drivers lost the championship by 1 point to Kimi Räikkönen, and that's because they didn't back a driver
in the Ferrari. Yes.
Yeah.
Go Ferrari.
But this is looking like a repeat this season because Max is coming at them so fast now.
I know. The Rosberg Hamilton one, you kind of didn't put that in the same category because you think that there is a big disparity between the two drivers.
Yeah,
between Hamilton and Rosberg.
One's a great and one's an A+ driver, and that's not me being a biased Hamilton fan. It's just he is a top driver.
He is.
And Rosberg's more like a B+ driver.
Oh,
Sorry,
wow. I would still put him in the A's. A-? No,
maybe.
Wow. Okay.
Every time those two were head to head, Hamilton would just pull away. Generally, you didn't see Rosberg just pull away from Hamilton because he didn't have the talent to do it.
The speed
in my overall opinion.
I can't wait to get to that year because I really want to delve into it a little bit more. But so really, it's really the Senna Prost was the last time. Maybe Alonso Hamilton, but really, it's the last time we've seen this issue till now.
Yeah, that's right, and it's and I've got a funny feeling that Max might take it now because
I know
if McLaren keep trying to do this good boy thing, then it's game over.
I know.
And we've had other teams have two drivers in the same team lose it to a third driver, and I think the last time is not just 2007 is the most recent, but I'd say Mansell Piquet against Prost in 86. In 1986, that Williams was the superior car.
Yeah.
Who won the championship? Prost and the McLaren.
Yeah.
Because Mansell and Piquet kept taking points off each other and they didn't have a clear number one because they didn't expect Mansell to be good.
Yeah.
And he was good. So,
So I've got a question for you, Louis. Let's just now go to the incident, the sprint race incident.
Yes.
Do you think that Oscar took an unnecessary risk? Well, did too aggressive a move to try and get in underneath Lando? And was it as a result of him going, it's every man for himself. I don't care what the team says. You all screwed me over many races, over the last 2 or 3 races, and I'm just gonna do whatever it takes to win. Now, so those are 2 questions for you.
Okay.
What do you think?
So I can answer them very quickly and whether it's succinctly. I think the first part is I do think it was a racing incident, but a racing incident totally caused by Piastri. So not enough to get a penalty, and it's not because I've got a bias in saying that.
No.
I genuinely think it wasn't something that he did to try to cause any impact or damage to Norris. He was lucky it happened that way.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, if you look at the action just before the incident, he does give Lando a lot of room on the outside when he's on the outside. Like he moves over so that he doesn't hit Lando at that point. And then he brakes hard and then he swings left really hard.
And the sharp angle he does, it's so risky. I call it a brain fade.
Yeah.
Piastri did a brain fade move.
Do you reckon it was a brain fade? That's strong.
I do, because I know it's a big wide first corner and there's multiple lines. I get that. But he was taking a massive risk because
Yeah.
the sharpness of his turn was really
Yeah.
putting him at risk, and
Yes.
and he could have easily have just been taken out all by himself.
Yeah.
And that would have been disastrous. And everyone would
Yeah.
have said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I
Yeah.
still think, "What are you doing?" When he did that sharp angle, I thought, what are the chances that there's no one
Yeah.
there? There's got to
Yeah.
be one there.
I mean,
I
we
felt,
have seen
mm,
drivers, you know, cut their way through traffic unbelievably. You go, how the hell did he
yeah,
get through that little spot? Squeeze
yeah,
through like a tiny gap between two cars. But
yeah.
yeah, when it doesn't come off, it doesn't look good, does it, for the
So
driver that
what?
does
So,
it?
so what's your verdict on that? So I've said a racing incident, but Piastri's fault. What's your verdict?
Oh, I think it was uncharacteristic Piastri. I think he's much more measured normally when he does things like that. And I think you didn't answer the second question. I think it was actually as a result of his new mindset
Mm,
around taking the opportunities that he felt are now what he has to do to win the championship because his team isn't going to
mm,
back him in the way that he expects. So
mm.
yes, it was uncharacteristic. I agree with you. I think when everyone first saw it, Paul Hulkenberg got all the blame.
Oh,
Poor
no, I
guy.
don't blame Hulkenberg at all. I
No.
saw straight away. I felt sorry for Hulkenberg.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you know what the really sad thing is? Not only did I feel sorry for him, but when that first lap was done, he was down in 15th place like normal. And I was like,
Yes.
no, not there again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The other question I have, which a lot
Mm,
of the pundits out there and commentators and people with opinions like me and you are
mm,
saying that the pressure is getting to Oscar and he can't handle the increased scrutiny and the fact that, the pressure of having to win the championship now is too much and he's cracking. What do you say to that?
I say no, I don't think that's happening. But I do think that the stupidity of all this McLaren stuff, he's having to think externally, as in my
Yes.
championship, Max Verstappen, and now he's got to think internally.
Yes.
Repercussions with Lando.
Questions. Yes. Papaya
Do I
rules.
get to pit first? Do I get to
Yeah.
papaya rules? Do I,
Yeah.
and I just think that's just stupidity. And he's probably just going, what am I? Am I in daycare or something or
Yeah.
nursery?
Yeah.
I think that's what's causing him to be distracted because he's thinking internal and external. If you're fighting for a championship, you should be thinking nothing but external,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
So,
think he's cracking under the pressure either. A lot of
yeah,
people are saying he's not going to finish strongly. I mean, this is what his third year in
yeah,
Formula
yeah.
One. Like that's a
Mm.
big ask for a 22
It's
year
pretty
old,
young. Yeah,
23-year old to be fighting
yeah,
for a championship in his third year. And I remember last year he did have a few bad races towards the end of the season. It's a lot. It's like 24 race season. I'm not making any excuses, but
yeah,
all drivers are tired at this stage of the season, I think.
yeah.
And
But
I
mm,
think pressure gets to all of them. I think pressure should get to all of them. It's a big
yeah,
thing, but I don't think it's overly getting to him, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
It's just
I
the
think
right
it's from
amount.
McLaren. I think McLaren's getting to him. That's what I think
Yes.
is happening. So what's happening here is this could be. There might be a trigger of some sort for him to leave McLaren because of this, but he wouldn't because McLaren's got the top
Nah,
car right now.
they've
But
got the
who
best
knows
car.
who's going to have the top car in 26? Who knows?
New regs, exactly. New
Yeah,
regulations. Like I'm
yeah.
hoping that Ferrari has written off this season and is spending the whole year developing their new car with the new regulations
They
for
can't
next
get.
year,
Yeah.
which I doubt McLaren have because this year's car is just better than last year's car as well.
Well, it seems to be
Um,
flatlining now.
Now it does, yes.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. And
Other
that Red
teams are
Bull.
catching up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're even saying that that new I forget his name because he's new principal to me. Oh, he's not a new principal. He was the principal of Racing Bull, but now it's Red Bull.
Yes.
Matt, what's his name?
Mekas?
Malik
Is it
Mekas.
Mekas?
Yeah, Mekis. Yeah, they're saying that he's having an impact on the car because he's an engineer. Um,
Yes.
as, of course,
Okay.
team principal, but there's probably something that he can add to the team that
Yes.
maybe Christian couldn't do.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, But I mean, Max is really taking it to the McLarens, and it's
just
making the championship quite memorable, isn't it?
It
Now,
is.
yeah,
Well, there's really a fight between three of them, and any three
yeah,
of them, and just because the third one is Max, you'd put him in there. Like if the
yeah,
third one was Norris, you'd go, he's got no chance. But
yeah,
because it's Max, you go, and he's
yeah,
just showing his class as a driver, isn't he?
yeah.
He is by far the best driver on the grid at the moment.
Yeah. And we might have old
closely
Max
by Charles Leclerc.
It's hard to judge him because
I
he's
know,
in such a
I
dog
know.
of a car.
I know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to mention, what was the second question you asked me about the Piastri that you said I didn't answer? That
was his action as a result of him taking those risks because of the because of the way that they've managed, the team has managed past incidents?
The reason why I'm saying no is because the move he didn't look like it was going to have any contact or risk to Norris. I think when he's banging wheels, yes.
Okay.
Or when he's side by side and the wheels are into overlapping, but not touching, yes. But he was doing a clean move.
He did. It was clean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was clean. It was clean, but sharp, crazy angle. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the only other thing I wanted to talk about, Luigi, in this race was the amazing strategy effort by Ferrari. I mean, I think that's the first time this season that I have seen them make. Let's just talk about Charles for now, and how he started the race on softs, and when they pitted him and all of that.
You nearly got the lead.
You nearly got the lead, exactly. And they didn't, like, usually when Charles is in that position, they stuff it up. That something goes wrong. They either choose the wrong tires, or they pit him at the wrong time, or I don't know. They change something on the setup, and it goes badly for them. So I was really impressed.
Well, you're impressed at what is expected.
Yes.
So that's not a good thing, is what I'm saying. You know.
I know, but come on, let me be happy for a little minute.
Be happy for a little bit. And look, I'll give Ferrari some credit. I mean, you know, when Hamilton was catching Leclerc, I think, did Leclerc have that spin? Oh, I've lost track of that.
Yes,
yeah.
He had he went off.
His softs were gone. His softs were gone.
Yeah.
Right? And Hamilton was coming at him, and Ferrari didn't immediately say, "Let him through. Let him through." They let them battle for a lap, and I was like, "What are you doing?" So old Ferrari's still a little bit there.
I know.
If it was any other team, it would be move out of the way. He's on a different tire strategy. You're about to go into pits in 1 lap time. Don't
exactly.
slow down the other driver.
Yeah.
So they've still got a little bit of old Ferrari there to clean up.
Yeah. That's what makes you love them.
Yeah. Yeah. So
well,
that leads me to I guess I was going to mention the Colapinto moment for 17th against Gasly.
That's hilarious.
I mean, the race was so boring that I'm referring to that. You know?
Louis, that could be the next example of two drivers battling it out for supremacy 17th. In their team for 17th and 18th.
I mean,
that was ridiculous.
The thing that's not fair about that is Colapinto was like saying, "Can I part? He's slow. But they said, we're managing. Right? And I think behind Colapinto was like 8 seconds. So there was no risk to Colapinto, no risk to Gasly. 16th, 17th, or 17th, 18th, doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? So now Colapinto's just upset Gasly, and Gasly's going to be like, well, okay, next time this time comes, I'll teach you a lesson about managing, because he was no doubt managing.
That's right. Yeah. And 17th and 18th, Colapinto, come on, get some perspective.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. You got to think the big game. I mean, the commentators were saying, oh, he's looking out for his drive for next year and all that sort of stuff. I don't think a team's going to go, oh wow, he came 16th. That we're going to pick him up now. You know,
he came 16th, but no, he came 17th, but he could have come 16th. Oh yeah, we won't take him. What?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, okay, you could say, oh, the guy's got attitude, he's got push, he's not letting. Yeah. Then the team boss will say, oh, so when we tell him to stay back, he's going to ignore me too.
That's right. Exactly. It goes both ways, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then there was the science overtake. What did you think of that?
That's right.
That was
That was
pretty
bad.
poor.
Yeah, I don't know what he was
I
thinking.
don't know what he was thinking there. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's always
Yeah.
funny when those drivers do that. Signs was immediately saying, "Oh, he drove into me." Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I will
Yeah.
say that what I did think was I've only got one more thing to say because there's not much else to talk about.
No.
But I just want to, because this is about point of view and I want to share my point of view. This is from the sprint race about a driver that I don't hold with too much respect is Lance Stroll. He took out Ocon in the sprint race, if you recall, and then he kept driving with that wheel.
I know.
He knows the rules. He knows you're not allowed to drive like that. And I was like, what are you doing? You know, like, first of all, you caused that accident. And secondly, you're driving around with that wheel bouncing around. And that's the car you need for qualifying, by the way. So it's just like, just go. We need you to go. You're hanging around to see if Newey gives you a rocket ship for next year. And Alonso's probably going to beat you anyway, Stroll. So I'm sorry about that. And I'm sorry for all the Canadian fans out there. So maybe TV is better than Stroll. I don't know. That's a big call, isn't it?
That's a very big call.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when's our next race? It's not next weekend, is it? It's the week after.
It is next week in the Mexican Grand Prix.
Oh, it's Mexico. Oh, that's a max race, isn't it?
It's a max race. Red Bull's very good at that track as well. And it's a track you can't pass on.
Oh, not again.
I know. But I do admit I do love the fact that how that track goes through the stadium. It looks really cool. Even though my memories of that race are not very appealing. But you know what? I will say one thing about boring races like the Austrian one we just had and the Mexican one we are about to have and the Monaco 26 race that we're going to have, that you need those boring races to appreciate the good ones when they come. Otherwise, how do you have context? How do you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Yeah. That's a good POV to end on, Louis.
Yeah. So we've managed to get a good 20, 25 minutes out of one of the more boring races of the year. Second only to Monaco. Monaco was even more boring, but we didn't have POV back then.
No, we didn't. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
till next time.
See you later, everyone.
See you later. And can I ask for those listening to the POV episode, leave us some comments, send us a message. Do you like these POV episodes? Are they worth it? Or do you prefer our recap redos? We're going to keep doing the POVs for a little while, but it'd be good to have some feedback, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll see. They'll love it. This wasn't a good episode to refer to. Refer to the other one, the Singapore race. Okay, bye everyone.
See you, bye.